Welcome to In This Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, The Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Good morning, B. How's it going?
Good morning. Going good. How you doing this morning?
Good. Can't call it my spot.
How's my lighting here? Let me fix this really quick. See if I can get some better lighting. There we go. That's a little better. It's a little bit better. Awesome.
Whew. Yeah.
Did you sleep well?
I did, y'all. I've been going to bed early. I'm talking about I was sleeping at 6 o'clock. I was nodding off on the couch, but I didn't end up getting in the bed until like 8:45 and going to bed, going to sleep, I think about 9 or so. So, and I'm not getting up as much. So
it's still pretty good.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really good because here, as of late, I have been going, a lot later than I typically do. And then I was waking up. I got to stop drinking so much water, and because it makes me get up. Yeah, so I did better by that, and that has helped me not to get up so much because I would overload on water. I've become addicted to water. I guess that's a good thing, but also, not so good at night.
Right.
Or so late,
you're
so much right before
bit.
going to bed. It's not. Yeah. So, but other than that, I had a good day. I have to share my morning, my war room, a little bit about my war room. God got on me this morning, so got to share that with y'all a little bit. But yesterday was a good day. I was off, still ended up working just a tiny bit, but nothing like I have been the last few months. So had a good day.
Oh, good. You look nice.
What about you?
So I had a really good day. I trained my young friend, a friend of my wife's son. Trained him twice a week. Used to be 3 times a week, but with other stuff going on, it's now twice a week. So I trained him, taught my jujitsu class. Well, that's today. I'm sorry. The day before yesterday I did that, but I'm preparing for that today. So I was preparing for that. And then yesterday I had 2 training sessions for myself. So I had a morning session at 11 a.m. and then I had a 6 p.m. session later on that night. So I trained that, did a bit of a fence job, but then the rain kind of shut us out for that. Did y'all get rain down there where you were?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it was raining. Germantown too. Well, I guess kind of quarter over Germantown.
Yeah, it rained. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it rained. That's where we are. We got rained on and didn't expect it because when I looked at this forecast earlier that morning, it said we wouldn't get rain, but you know how it is. It looks like rain, and you're like, nah, it's gonna rain today. You can smell it in the air. So, but overall, it was a great day. Tired, pushed myself hard like I usually do. Got home and actually went to sleep relatively early myself. But it wasn't because I made a decision. It was because I was sitting on the couch falling asleep, at 9 o'clock. So,
yeah.
But that was it. But good day all the same.
Did the rain made me think about we know not. we know not when it's no matter what they say, we know not if it's going to rain or not, right? So be prepared. Take your umbrella. Did wifey tell you that Zolly? I was right up on this road, right up on the side of her.
Yeah.
I was telling Jimmy about how surprised Zolly looked like. What is going on? She looked like I pulled right up beside them yesterday, and it was too funny to see baby girl's face. Like,
Like, we didn't
Grandma,
plan that.
you're like, Grandma, what are you doing over there? In my own car, they in their own car. Pulled right up beside them, and her face was priceless. She was just trying to understand how that what's going on. She just had this look of like, what's going on? What's going on? She already, when I was doing her hair, she was like, how do you have everything that mommy has, Grandma? Like from the blow dryer, she didn't know we were trading it back and out back and
Oh
forth.
yeah.
So she thought I had all these things at my house, and she had all these things at her house. And she's like, huh, how do you have all the things my mommy have?
She's starting to put stuff together,
Yes, yes,
on
yes. It's a
a different
beautiful thing.
level.
Yeah, yeah. It's beautiful though, y'all. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch that grow. It's
Same.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll read these comments and then we'll jump right into it. Cousin Latasha says, "Good morning, family. Please, sending prayers out to the high school shooting that
Oh yeah.
took place in Windsor, Georgia. 4 lives taken and others injured. The shooter was 14 years old. Wow. Yeah, I didn't hear. I heard something on TV about it, but I thought they were just talking about previous school shootings. In passing as I was going through, and then Jimmy told me last night that there was a school shooting. Miss Brenda, and we prayers out for them for sure. 14 years old, you guys.
Yeah. That's a shame.
I won't get on that. We'll pray for them. Um, Good everything, everyone, on this Friday Eve, says Brenda Davis. Big Mike says, good
Friday Eve.
morning, everyone. Yeah, Friday Eve. Friday Eve. Big Mike says, good morning, everyone. He says, got some good rest yesterday. Felt like I was hibernating. And Kayla is back. Please, please pray for us, you all. We're in Children's Hospital. Oh,
Oh.
Kayla? Yeah, okay.
Okay, we'll keep you in the prayers, Kayla.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll shoot you a text afterwards, or call me afterwards and let us know if we can do anything for you. We'll certainly pray, but let us know if we can do anything else for you. Auntie Richetta says, good morning, and everyone, family, and nephew. Kayla says, also, good morning. Sorry, been a rough week. I was thinking you were still on vacation, but are you? Are you here? And you guys are at the hospital here? Are you still on vacation? So let us know that.
Hmm. And we'll be thinking
Okay.
about you and your family, Kayla.
Okay. All right.
Said Raina has a severe staph infection.
Okay.
Oh wow. Yeah. Oh man, staph infection is rough.
They're at Labana. Is it
A
black seed
Labana.
oil? Black seed oil is not for babies, is it?
It can be, but I mean we'll have
That's
to do
different.
probably some talking offline, but
Okay.
hopefully, with staph infection, it's probably
It's
the
different.
doctor's probably, yeah,
Okay.
got that one. So I think
Okay.
that'll be. We're hoping everything turns out well for you, Kayla, and let's catch up. Um, but okay, y'all, keep everybody prayed up, and let's get into the show. What do you say, Mo?
All right. Let's get into it.
All right, so if you haven't been here, or if this is your first time, or maybe you have been here and you just need to be reminded, we are reading through the book Daily Motivations for African American Success by Dennis Kimbro. There's the book right there. There's the author. I think it's a 1992 publication, but what we read in here is very relevant for our lives here and now today. Daily Motivations for African American Success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. And 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year. Dennis Kimbro, author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Edelman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year. What it teaches will last you a lifetime. So, high value, low cost book. It's found wherever books are pretty much sold, especially online. You can buy it fairly easy. The paperback, it's a great read, daily motivation, something for you with to carry with you every single day, every single morning. Join us here at 7 a.m. on the In the Season podcast. Please, if you have a moment, go to this video on YouTube. If we have however many people we have in the chat on Facebook and on Instagram, we should also have on YouTube as likes. So please go to the YouTube channel, the letter In This Season podcast. Hit like on this video and other videos if it so pleases you, but definitely this one. Share this one. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so you know when we're going live. But we are here every single morning at 7 a.m. Anything else from you, Mom, before I jump into the motivation for today?
No, I'll save it for the end.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. September 5th. Today is Are You Still Doing Drugs? Are you still doing drugs? And today our quote comes from Stephanie Mills, the singer and entertainer, who said, "Sometimes I just feel so good all over." Sometimes
Y'all remember that song?
I just feel good all over.
Do you remember that song, Brandon?
I'll probably
Her
if I
song?
heard it, but I don't.
Okay. All right.
You want to sing it?
I like the one Home. I'll sing that one for y'all by Stephanie Mills.
No, Sam,
That's
but the
I
one that applies to this one.
No, I don't want to sing
You don't know that one?
it. Yeah, I do know it, but I want to sing it.
Oh, okay. Sometimes
I'll sing one.
Sometimes I just feel good, so good all over. We have the ability to accept emotional and physical pain as a part of our lives, to adjust to it and learn to live with it. And any support we need in making the adjustment is easily available to us. We live in a society where there is a pill for every pain. We can always find something, over the counter or prescribed, to dull any discomfort and keep us going. But where are we really going? On to serious illness, disease, and an early grave. What's in our medicine cabinets is a good indication of the state of our health. Good mental and physical health is our natural state of being. It's what our Creator intended for us. Mental and physical health is born of spiritual health. When we make our spiritual well-being a priority, the natural outcome is strength, beauty, harmony, and a healthy mind and body. The opposite is also true. Discord and unhealthy, negative behavior offend the spirit and create the space for illness to take root. The main focus in our lives should be to monitor our moment-to-moment thoughts, feelings, and actions to ensure that they are in agreement with our spirit and our values. What must I do or eliminate from my life to be in perfect health? The answer is obvious. We must place our physical bodies in order. We must eat the appropriate foods and exercise our bodies regularly. Identifying what we must do to have optimum health is simple. Permanently adopting the behavior that ensures it is difficult. But a plan has already been developed for us. We can summon the infinite intelligence that is part of each of us, that power that created, supports, or orders the universe to help support and guide our lives. When we live in accordance with this one power, the inevitable result is perfect health. And the affirmation for today is, today I will develop a health consciousness and begin to enjoy the benefits of sound health. Again, today I will develop a health consciousness and begin to enjoy the benefits of sound health. Over to you, Mom.
Well, Brandon, this is one that I almost feel like we should read again, but maybe later if we have the time. We live in a society where there is a pill for every pain. We can always find something over the counter or prescribed to dull any discomfort and keep us going. I remember there was a time I used to say, man, there's a pill that people need to take to wake up and be able to get up and go, do the day. Then there's a pill that they need to help them get through the day, maybe a bit later. And then one to help them go to sleep at night and get through the night. But what it asks the question, right? It says we can always find something over the counter or prescribed to dull any comfort and keep us going. But where are we really going? Like, are we really growing? Is the question. Or are we just masking, um, finding a way to mask the feelings, the pains, the emotions, and not dealing with them, which leads to that continuation of battle with self, right? And it talks here about, let's see, good mental and physical health is our natural state of being. Imagine that. Good mental and physical health is our natural state of being. But you guys, we're so out of God's natural order. You see what I'm saying? Women no longer know or appreciate or desire to be in the natural order that God created us to be, right? Men, likewise, are not in their natural state. Do we even understand what the natural state is? And when you're out of it, you are battling with the natural state. Your worldly state is in battle with your spiritual state, right? With your natural spiritual health. So, again, good mental and physical health is our natural state of being, right? It's what our Creator intended for us. And physical health is born of spiritual health. Mental and physical health is born of spiritual health. When is the last time your concern was more about your spiritual being? And this is why you have people can be gym fanatics, health fanatics. They eat right, they work out, but what they do not do is work on their spiritual being or have a coming to a meeting of the minds with their natural state, right? The gym may be the medicine, the pill. The food may be the pill. Have you met someone that does both? Like they work out, man, they eat right. Still, they get sick and or die young. And sometimes your sickness comes from being out of your natural being and having a healthy spirit. Not a perfect one. Well, I'll say perfect with the spirit because again, we are in God's will, the spirit that dwells in us, right? Doesn't mean that we are, but we are perfect. What? In God's will for our lives. Remember, we talked about one day, and I said, Brandon, how when you are in or pursuing the will of God, letting the ego go in the world, your steps are ordered, right? No matter what it looks like in that order, you realize one thing you do know. I'll share my morning with you guys. I was in my war room this morning, and um, I had to laugh at one point because I was just asking God some questions. I talked this morning. I didn't just sit. I asked questions, and I was asking one of the answers that came back. Well, one of my answers that went back out. Lord, I don't know. And I thought about yesterday. Like I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you feel like you're in between everything and everybody, um, and I feel like I don't know what's going on, and I want to know. Sometimes I get in my space where Lord, I don't understand some things, right? God, what I may not understand, I trust you. Well, I trust you, but sometimes I just want to understand to God. And that's where I was, right? That's just where I was. I want to understand. Now, coming out of it, I was okay, but I was having a moment. Just looking outward, I was having a moment, right? And I had asked God. It was some parts of it was about Bluff City leadership, the communications, the communication assessment, how valuable I think it is, right? And I was saying to God, you opened this big door for me. Open it for Bluff City leadership as well. Open the doors for the assessment. And I heard God's voice come back and say, I have opened it. You just have not gone through it. And this is what got me. When's the last time you checked the email for Bluff City leadership? When's the last time you just checked your email? How do you know I have not sent you some things there? Man, did I get in check. Matter of fact, I got up and walked out the war room, laughing at myself. Right? And so, and it's been a few days, but it's my business. I should never go a few days. I don't do it for the company that I work for. Right? So out of order, right? For me, out of order. And I must be still doing some drugs that I thought I had put down. Right? So you guys, it comes back to this. Who are you? What are you doing? Are you doing drugs or are you doing your life? Or is your life doing you? What pills, what things are you taking to keep yourself afloat? What people are you just spending time with, right? Just to have somebody there. That could be your drugs. That could be your drug. Doesn't always have to be the pill. What has gotten you to the point where you are out of your natural state? Because our Creator intended us to be there. It's what our Creator intended for us to be. Good mental and physical health. What does that look like to you? Mental. When the last time have you been brutally honest with yourself about your mental state of mind? Right? When's the last time? So let's stop lying to ourselves about where we are, who we are, and how we're doing. And are we doing drugs? What is that drug? Unforgiveness? Procrastination? Give me a few more, Brandon. Lying to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
We do that more than we think, you guys. Fabricate or justify like again we talked about you could be late for work. You get there, like you could leave the house 15, 20 minutes later than you are supposed to leave. And then you get to work, man, that traffic was bad. Rather than, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I did not leave on time. I did not do my job. And it's not about your job, it's about who you are, right? Let your life speak for who you say you serve. Because we don't want God showing up late on our prayers, do we? We want them answered right now, right now. So, Brandon, before I turn it over to you, the opposite is also, well, maybe I should back up just a little bit. When we make our spiritual well-being our priority, what is your priority in your life? When we make our spiritual well-being our priority, the natural outcome is strength, beauty, harmony, and a healthy mind and body. The opposite is also true. Discord and unhealthy negative behavior offend the spirit and create the space for illness to take root. Y'all, did y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Discord and unhealthy negative behavior. Negative behavior is the way of life now. I was thinking in the war room this morning how everybody wants you to be and do, be like them. I said, God, there's a them that wants you to be like them, believe like them, do what them is doing. This is exactly what I was saying. And them don't even know who them are. Them don't know what they're doing. But when you people always say, well, why didn't you do it this way? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do that? Why don't you do that if that's what you want me to do? Because your clothes don't fit me. Your shoes don't fit me. That's why. I've started to be, now some people can ask you why for a very, like grandson, Tupac. Well, why, grandma? Because he's learning. But sometimes y'all ought to just be quiet and let people figure out why. Because you ask why, because why aren't you doing it this way, that way? And it's different when you're giving advice. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Right? So, y'all, we got to get back to our natural state. Our spiritual being has to be our priority. Right? I should never get up a morning without going in my war room. Truth be told, I do. We should never start our day without God. God should be our pill, our drug. Our drug. And I'll turn it over to you, Brandon. I shared a couple of days ago with, and I might have shared this the other day. It's so refreshing to be able to meet someone that your conversations are going to be about God, and they're not going to feel some kind of way. Because truth be told, I see the strange looks. Like, that's all she talks about. That's all she want to talk about is the goodness of God. Like, why don't you want to hear it? Right? But there's a person that God has allowed to come in my life, and it's so refreshing to be like, hey, and we already know we're talking about the goodness of God. We're talking about what God is doing. We're talking about what we're growing through. Powerful, powerful. And there's a sense of delightfulness, happiness, joy, because we got the same best friend. We got the same best friend. Right? And so we're talking about, Brandon, actually, in talking, he mentioned the verse that you brought up. He brought that subject up, not the particular verse. I went to the verse about men don't seek after women or something like that. Proverbs
Proverbs
31,
31:3.
3 or
I
something
shared
like
that
that.
with somebody yesterday, leaving the gym.
Yeah.
Yep. He said he
Yeah.
was going to look it up. So it's funny you brought that up. But yeah.
Yeah. So it was that it's just a beautiful thing to be able to have those conversations. So I know I went long, Brandon. Over to you. I'm gonna shut up.
No problem at all. I'll keep it short. I had a lot more I wanted to, like a little story I wanted to tell, but that story will take a little too long. Maybe another day. But are you still doing drugs? What does it take to feel so good all over, right? So speaking from a spiritual standpoint, Mom, I know you kind of went into, how people lie to themselves or um are on the drug of unforgiveness, right? Or might be drunk on ego, right? Or pride or self-loathing, anything like that. But one thing it made me think about spiritually when I was reading here, that if we take care of the spirit, the rest is good. It says what uh, mental and physical health is born of spiritual health. The third sentence, excuse me, of the second paragraph. The mental and spirit and physical health is born of
Okay.
spiritual health,
Mhm.
right? When we make our spiritual well-being our priority, the natural outcome is strength, beauty, harmony, and a healthy mind and body. So I wanted to get into that part a little bit. What is spiritual health? Right? Like, how do we keep a spirit healthy? And I think the only way to do it is by following guidance, by following the commandments of God, his guidance that leads our life, and having a regimen to that. The same way that a person in physical health would get up and go running or go exercising is the same way that you should do spiritual spiritual feats of maintaining your spiritual health, praying, giving charity, right? Honoring your mother and father, keeping even the Ten Commandments, following the law that Jesus said he came to not, do away with the law, but rather to fulfill it, right? So what is the law? Do we understand what that law is, or what the guidance is, or what has been revealed to us to maintain our spiritual health? I can speak for myself. In Islam, we are commanded to pray 5 daily prayers, which really we're commanded to worship 5 times a day. We say prayer because of the translation issue, but the word is salat, right? It's literally offering worship to God 5 times a day. Now, about this, God isn't in better health when we worship him. God isn't in worse health if we don't worship him. The independent variable in that situation is us. Mm. By independent variable, I mean, it's the one that can change. But it's funny because we are dependent on the one that is completely independent, right? We are dependent on the one that's independent, but the independent variable, or the one that changes inside of, like a science experiment, the one that isn't always in the same state, is us. But God is forever, omnipresent, omnipotent, all aware, and all knowledgeable. He knows what we he knows what we reveal, and he knows what we withhold. Mm-hmm. So when we pray, God already knows. It's us coming to God for that spiritual cleansing, that cleansing of our heart, that settling of our mind. And there's a part in Islam, in the guidance that's given through the Quran and the Sunnah, the Prophet, peace be upon him, that teaches us to submit our bodies, habitually submit our bodies, and that there are spiritual consequences or spiritual realities that happen from our physical prostration. There are spiritual implications that happen that we might not see initially when you bow your head to the ground in the way that Jesus did, or all the prophets did. There's spiritual implications in reciting the words of God back to him. And when we read when we pray the words of the Quran, which we believe are God's words. So it's outside of even just that. It's the way we eat, which is spiritual. It's the way we dress, which is spiritual. Right? So when this is right, when your heart is right, when your spirit is right, when you go back to the river, basically, how clean would a man be if he bathed 5 times a day? Right? How clean would he be? And by bathing, I don't mean him physically going in there and washing and taking a bath 5 times a day, but I mean spiritually cleansing himself 5 times a day. What sins could he do that could not be forgiven between one prayer and another? Between, let's say, Fajr prayer and Dhuhr prayer, which is the prayer before the sunrise, and then the prayer during in the middle of the day, basically when the sun is the highest, right? And if at every single prayer, if let's say you've made a mistake. Let's say you went to work and you told him, "Oh, there's bad traffic." That's a lie, right? In your prayer, you might remember that and reflect upon that and ask for forgiveness for that, right? Because you've checked back in with God. You've checked back in with your spiritual self and your accountability to yourself and then to God. So hold yourself to account before the day of accounting, which is Judgment Day. So imagine if you didn't do that, you might go the whole day and say, "I'm just going to pray before I go to sleep," right? You could have forgotten about that lie that you talked about, that was earlier with your boss. and be so diluted in your day that there's too much to get through for you to catch everything. But this realignment onto the straight path, for Muslims, I would say, is crucial to our spiritual health. But it's not only that. It's the prescription of giving charity. It's the prescription of taking care of those who are less fortunate, right? It's the prescription of walking gently upon the earth and not being oppressive. It's the prescription of not wasting, right? It says that even the man who lives by a river should not waste water. Even if he lives next to a running river, he should not waste water, right? Or that if you are full and your neighbor is hungry, you are not a believer. If you're full and you know your neighbor is hungry and you continue to eat, that's not a state of belief, but a state of spiritual impurity, right? Or spiritual constipation in a sense. And I think with many of us walking around, there's a spiritual constipation that's happening, right? There's a spiritual constipation where we just don't seem like we can make the connection with God, or like we're really in that space of what we feel is a direct guidance or communication with our Creator. And so we believe that by submitting the body, fasting for the month of Ramadan, or fasting in general, that you've seen all of the prophets do. There's not a prophet that hasn't been that didn't fast, that you can look up and read about. There's not one. So this fasting is a physical thing. Now, people, now will say, "Oh, intermittent fasting is a huge health benefit." But before science knew that, our spiritual traditions knew that, right? And did we take that prescription for what it was? And are there other things that have been prescribed to us, for our spiritual health, that science has yet to back up? But if you notice, the trend is that science soon backs up what the spiritual traditions have said were good, even down to forgiveness, right? What you just posted, Mom. Even down to forgiveness, the stress that harbors inside of your body, right? The physical ramifications of harboring unforgiveness, of harboring contempt, can really stress you out to the point of heart attack. Have you heard of people passing away after a loved one that was close to them, that have been married for 50, 60, 70 years? And after they pass away, they literally die of a broken heart because of their spouse. So there are these things that can happen to us, to where stress can break us down. Dis-ease, right? Dis-ease. We are not at ease. Okay. And once you do that, once you eat correctly, in Islam, we don't eat pork. We don't eat things that are filthy, right? We don't eat certain things. And even in the Bible, it says, I'm trying to think, what's that verse? It might be Corinthians, I want to say. Something like, I think it's 1 Corinthians, but it says that better it is to eat herbs with love, like made in love, basically, than a fat oxen made with hate. Right? Did you know about that, Mom? That it's better to eat herbs with love than a fat oxen with hate. So
I got it here. I got it. I'm looking it up for you. It looks like it's in Proverbs. Is it Proverbs 15?
It is Proverbs. Yeah. Will you read that?
Let's see. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred therewith. And that's the King James version.
Right. But basically, yeah, the same thing. So it's better to eat something that's good for you and may not fill you all the way, that's made with love, made with an understanding of guidance, than to eat something that looks good and fat and big and it's going to fill you up and gorgeous, so that's made with hate. So what I'm saying is that there is a physical aspect to your spiritual health. And once you get in line with that, you're not going to eat things that harm your body. You're not going to do drugs. Why? Because think about it. The Bible also says that your body is a temple, right? It says that your body is a temple. in different places. So if your body is the house of God, right, and a place for which you are using as a vessel to worship God, then how dare you put alcohol in it and become drunk? How dare you put methamphetamines in it? These things alter your state of being able to submit to God. It changes your physical nature. It changes your biochemistry to where you are not in the pure state, even when you are offering your prayer. Why do you think Jesus washed himself before he prayed? Do you think it really mattered? Do you think God can't accept prayers if Jesus was dirty? No, there's a spiritual implication to running water over you. What was the purpose of John the Baptist baptizing Jesus if water did nothing, right? If it was immaterial, if all they needed to do was say, "Oh God." And sure, God has the power to accept whatever he wills, but that extra step of purification has a spiritual implication and a spiritual benefit that benefits not just our spiritual health, but our entire body. When our spirit is good, our mind is good. When our mind is good, we will only want things that are beneficial to our bodies to ingest, right? So some of us are addicted to food. Some of us are giving, if you have children, you don't give your children sugar. Don't give them everything that they want. Don't give them, a lot of caffeine. Don't give them a lot of sugar. Don't give them a lot of saturated fats. This is not good for them spiritually, not just physically. This is not good for them spiritually. It teaches them one of the seven deadly sins of gluttony. Because gluttony, why do we fast? When the stomach is full, the senses are hungry. You want to see that girl in that bikini when you're full, right? You want to watch that illicit film when you're full, right? You want to speak idly when you're full. But boy, when you're hungry, when you're hungry, how quick it is that we're like, I don't need to hear all that. I don't need to hear all that. How quick are we when we're hungry to say, Lord? Much quicker, because we're not diluted. Our blood, our bodies aren't filled with the filth or the addiction of sugar, which they found in science to be more addictive than cocaine. Try stopping sugar. I dare you guys to go 2 days without sugar. And I mean sugar as far as bread, that's sugar. I mean sugar in your coffee, that's sugar. I'm talking about gummy bears, that's sugar. I'm talking about hot wings, it's carbohydrates. That's a type of sugar. I dare anyone to go 2 days without sugar, and let's see if you're the same person. You will be sitting over there shaking and shivering like you nodding on heroin, right? Because you're addicted. So how can we? So are you on drugs? And I would say to all of us, yes. We don't know how much we are addicted to this life and how attached we are to this life and how hard it is for our souls to embrace the hereafter that comes, right? When it does come. So I want to leave us with that without getting too deep in it. There are, no matter what faith tradition you come from, if it's in my opinion, a true faith tradition, in a spiritual tradition, there are parts within it. It is holistic by and large. And there are parts in it that give you an outline on what to eat, what to drink, how to be physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And like even in Islam, the way that you treat your mother and your father, it says the best of those among you are the best to their wives, right? It says that heaven is at the feet of your mother. So there are spiritual implications in obeying that guidance as well. And those are the things that purify you and put you in a better state so that you can truly be successful. But this is what is true success, not the success of this world, but what is true success. When we go to prayer, there's a calling to prayer, and I'll end it right here. The call to prayer that you guys will usually hear if you go travel to the Middle East or to a Muslim country like Malaysia, for example, that has, I think, the most amount of Muslims. in the world, even more than the countries in the Middle East. But you will hear a call to prayer where they say Hayal al Falah, Hayal al Salah. And Hayal al Falah means rush to success. It's calling you to prayer. Rush to success, true success. Rush to Hayal al Falah. And then it says Hayal al Salah, which is rush to prayer. So it replaces rush to success with rush to prayer. For God is great. God is great. There is no God except for Allah, or the one who created it all, the God, right? So even Christians in Egypt call God Allah because it's the word for God in Arabic. It cannot be made plural. In Arabic, there is no Allahs. There's no S after it. It's literally a word that cannot be made plural. So it's to show the divinity and the oneness of God. But in that, it says rush to success. So we believe that that is true success. What is true success in your spiritual tradition, right? And what does that look like for you spiritually? And what does that look like for you on an everyday basis? And in that regard, using that now as a measuring stick, are you on drugs? Are you spiritually healthy? Are you doing what you need to do? Are you giving your spirit what it needs so that it can ingest and get the spiritual nutrients? Are you digesting? Are you praying? Are you worshiping? What's the difference to you between prayer and worship? Have you been saying, Lord, I need, and not glorifying God? Have you been selfish in your prayers? Are you using God like he's some kind of, gumball machine that you put a prayer in and he's supposed to give you something out? Or are you worshiping your creator? And I'll leave it there.
Or are you noticing what are you thankful for what the things that he has given you and continue to, whether it's a sound mind, body, your health, food on your
Yeah.
table, life. Brandon, as you brought up the Proverbs, let's see when I read
15.
that, yeah. So I took something different from it. So I did a little bit more, I shouldn't say different, but I thought differently about it. It says Solomon teaches that it is better for a couple to live in loving harmony with meager possessions and simple meals than to be surrounded with luxury and eat expensive cuts of meat while despising each other. I want to read
Yes.
it again. It is
Yes.
better for a couple to live in loving harmony with meager possessions, y'all, simple meals, than to be surrounded with luxury and eat expensive cuts of meat while despising each other. Do y'all know how many people are doing that? Like they booed up with the car, the house, the steaks, they eating good, living good, but they walking around despising each other, right? I
Yeah.
was thinking about this and I'm gonna stop here. Um, for some reason, I think about it in the sense of a man. And I think because I've seen this look, y'all, men, y'all have to help me. Have you ever looked in the eyes of a man who knows that he knows that he knows that he chose the wrong one and he's stuck with her? Have y'all ever have you looked behind those eyes? I've seen it. I've seen it in coaching, but how do I can't sit there and say, I see what I see. This is not going to work. You're here, but how do you be present with someone thinking mentally, I chose the wrong one? I've seen it, right? So that's another reason we have to be spiritual healthy. What are the benefits? Some, and I'm going to post some more things out there, you guys, and we're going to get out of here right now, though. According to the study, spiritual wellness can help you cope with the trauma of diagnosis and treatment. It can help you cope. Let's just leave it right there. Spiritual healthiness. Brandon, I like how you said that call to success. When you're coming to pray, it's a call to success. That's saying going before God about your life, in your life, right? Living life in God. Like you say, I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting on God, but I'm in God as I wait. Patiently, with joy, I wait. Right? Some of y'all, as Brandon said, you pray and you want it right now. Some of you don't pray. You just, I want it. Right? Ain't gave God nothing. Not even a prayer. Not even thank you, God, for this day. For food on my table. My children are safe. Your children are safe. Right? And it also says that spiritual wellness helps reduce anxiety, stress, anger, and depression. A call to success, Brandon says. Reduce anxiety, stress, anger, and depression. Enhance the quality of your life. What's the quality of your life? Or is it just quality so you think in the things that are in your life? The things that you can go buy. You know, you could put the Bebe shirt on, the red bottom shoes. I go to a church and I see a pastor. I see the bottom of his feet more than I hear his words because he's showing them to me. He's falling down in the seats and raising his feet up so we could see. Discernment. Y'all might say judging. That was discernment. Ain't no way in the world you got to keep falling in your seat and your feet going up in the air that many times. I got my red bottoms on. But do you got God on? Is your spirit on? Right? Increase feelings of inner peace and hope. And I'm gonna go back to that one because some of y'all up there in them pulpits will have several red bottom shoes, and somebody in your congregation been tithing all their lives and just need their light bill paid this month, and they can't even get it. But you spiritually fit, sound. You serve a great God, right? You serve a great God. I'm going to read something real quick, Brandon. I'm going to get out of here for sure because I know you got to go too. I'm good, but I want to read this. I saw this last night from a young man that, y'all, I've been just led to pray for him. And I almost reached out and just said, and he just recently lost his mom. And I was actually telling Brother Trent about it a few days ago, how I don't know why, maybe it's a mama thing. Never met his mom, but I've been just praying for this young man. And I saw a post that he put out last night. Where we go? There we go. I think that's it. Oh gosh, you guys wait. Brandon, I tell you what, while I'm doing this, go ahead and read the affirmation a couple of times, and then that way we can get out of here.
Okay. I did have, while you're saying, I do have
Go
one
ahead, do
thing to
your
add.
thing. Okay.
A body in stress will not digest.
Mm.
A body in stress will not digest. Do you know that if you are in a state of gratitude and with ease, you actually digest your food better?
Say that
And
again.
when you are in a state of ease, a state of gratitude, moreover, you actually process and digest food better. Your
So
body
the irritable
better.
bowel syndrome could be from stress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. IBS should be IB stress. You know what I'm saying? Because a stressed body cannot digest. I'm serious.
That's deep, Brandon. That's deep. That's
I
deep. But
mean,
you know what, Brandon? I
mhm,
promise you, and you know this. I used to have so many problems with my stomach, y'all, till I thought I was dying. I'm like, and it just seemed like it just kind of one day went away. Down to the way we sleep and things like that, Brandon. I think the way that you sleep, now I've gotten to a point. I used to have to sleep with the TV on. It can't be the TV. Nothing, nothing. I just need the peace. I need to hear the silence. So many things can come from
mhm,
an unhealthy spirit.
right. And it disseminates from that. And so, and also, I'll leave you guys with this last little like spiritual nugget. Be careful what you speak about while you're eating. Be careful what you speak about while you're eating. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Don't speak about death while you eat. Don't speak death over your food. Speak life, speak love, speak happiness, speak gratitude. This is better for you because there are spiritual implications to what you invoke over your food. We are not, just as we are not physical beings having a spiritual experience, We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. The same applies with your food. Okay? And your ingestion of it. So remember that you are a spiritual being first. So take care of home first. Take care of that first. Before that, imagine someone that's eating very unhealthily, but they're so worried about the health of their hair. Your hair doesn't. You're gonna have messed up hair and unhealthy hair if you're not eating well. Likewise with the spirit, take care of your spirit first if you want a good body. All right. What is it to wash your clothes, but underneath you're a leper? Right. So I'll leave y'all with that. Be careful what you speak about over your food, and don't eat. You can't. A body in stress cannot digest. It will be constipated, have indigestion, and hold on to things. You might not even have a movement because you're stressed. You hear about people going days without using the restroom. You know what I mean? That's not healthy.
The body in stress can't digest.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, and I'll turn it over to you because I got to get up out of here.
Okay. I'll read this. And if you need to go, Brandon, please by all means go. I'm going to read this really quickly. Okay. So there's a movie, and I don't know the name of the movie, but I've seen people talking about it. That's about spirits, I guess, or something like that. Right.
I don't know what movie you're talking about.
All right. So you guys probably know about it. I've seen, again, people just kind of talking about it. So this young man says, so you attend church every Sunday, attend revivals, holler, sweat, worship, sing loudly, speak in tongues, run track through the pews, call him the Messiah, call him King, speak in tongues, pray against demons, and claim to be set free. But a movie about doing the same when spirits actually show up is too much for you. Interesting. That was his post. So again, I don't know the name of the movie. You guys probably do, but I've seen just something about a movie where people are praying. I don't know. So I don't want to get into that about the movie, but I just thought his point was interesting. And I wanted to read that because you guys, the biggest lies that we tell are the ones that we tell to ourselves. And there's such a cognitive dissonance, Brandon, that is going on. Brandon's words, I learned that from Brandon, that is happening. You know, we're playing ourselves, if that makes sense. You don't know what you really believe. You don't know. You don't know who you really are. You just kind of waking up and going with the flow of life, not being led by the Spirit, not in God's will. Answer the question. When's the last time you got on your knees and prayed to God? Or just sat in the midst of God, wanting nothing, needing nothing but God, the Creator. When's the last time? When's the last time you just sat in the seat of your spirit that dwells within you and asked for direction? Not a new car, not a new house, not a new pair of shoes, just direction, your will for my life. When's the last time? Let's close out, Brandon.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this September 5th. Our title today was, Are You Still Doing Drugs? And Stephanie Mills, the singer and entertainer, gave us our quote of the day, who said, sometimes I just feel so good all over. And after our passage today, we came to an affirmation at the bottom of the page that said, today I will develop a health consciousness. Today I will develop a health consciousness and begin to enjoy the benefits of sound health. Today, I will develop a health consciousness and begin to enjoy the benefits of sound health. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, in the Season Podcast. Peace. Thank you.